Welcome back to another episode of Tail of the Tape. I'm Kyle Sparrow, joined here with Thomas Gabo and Whitaker Lummis, and we're going to be going over some of the top prospects, 3 in particular, for the wide receiver class for this upcoming draft. I'll talk about the first one, arguably the top prospect, Carnell Tate, 6'2". Those long strides. He runs a 4.5 340 and will arguably be suitable for any team. Whitaker, what do you got?
I got, the kid out of USC, 5'11", Makai Lemon, no rhyme intended there, has the awards to back it up. Biletnikoff Award winner, kind of plays like a mixture of his fellow USC alum in Amon-Ra St. Brown and Tyler Lockett, very good route runner.
What do you got, Thomas?
Yeah, and how about Jordan Tyson, the best wide receiver in the Big 12 and one of the best route runners in this draft, and yeah.
But we can list all their accolades all we want. But for a more in-depth breakdown, let's send things over to Marcus Miles. Marcus, what do you got for us?
Thank you, Kyle. And like you guys mentioned, Carnell Tate is one of the most promising, if not the most promising receiver in the class. He has the full package. He knows how to be man. He knows how to get open versus zone. And he loves to compete in the run game. Let's run some of that tape. All right, on this first snap, you're gonna see him on the bottom. He's just gonna run this post route. He's gonna leave that DB in the dust. We're gonna run that back for you one time. Right here, as soon as he gets to the top of the route, he's gonna beat him with that rocker step, sets him up to the outside, gets that DB leaning. Easy, once again, the rocker step, he's setting it up to the outside this time, makes him think he's gonna run that deep in, gets back to the outside, and watch this at the catch point. He is one of the best contested catches guys in the draft, ranked in the 99th percentile for those catches, and he has the 94th percentile hand size. He is a contested catch specialist for sure. You see it once again. He beat him again at the top of the route. You're gonna see him set up the DB outside, hit him with the rocker step back inside, make that catch in traffic, touchdown Ohio State. You love to see it. This time it's gonna be a go ball. This is where you love to see those big hands. They come into play. There's nothing that DB can do. As soon as Carnell grasps that ball, he comes down with it. Touchdown OSU once again. This time you're gonna see, I love this play because you see him win with strength. It's not a special play, it's not a flashy play, but you see him shed that corner, at the top of the route and make the catch. And on this next snap, you're gonna see him at the top of your screen. He's going to work against this cover 2 zone. I love this route because it shows his IQ and attention to detail. You have to know those openings in the cover 2. He executed that perfectly. He worked that outside, made that safety, lurked back in, and then he cut it back inside and found that sweet spot, And you're gonna see it one more time on this little hook route. He's going to find the sweet spot. He has the IQ to understand where to be at, where to go, and where to set up for the quarterback to have the best possible success. And on this play, I love this play as well. You're gonna see him set up a huge play in the run game. He is a capable and willing blocker in the run game. You love to see that. He's not one of those guys who shies away from contact or feels like run blocking is above him. Now, this is where I get into a little bit of his shakiness. He is not the greatest after the catch. You see it on this play. You love to see your guys, especially your wide receiver 1, make that first guy miss. He's not able to do that. On this play again, you're seeing him catching the drag route, and then he just loses his footing. You would love to see him explode and make plays after the catch. He can make a guy miss occasionally, but it's not his strong suit. And that was Carnell Tate. He is probably the most promising wide receiver in the draft. He has close to the full package. He knows how to win versus man, knows how to win versus zone. He's competitive in the run game, lacks a little bit of ability in the yak ability, but there is a USC prospect coming out of the draft that excels in that category, and we're gonna give you a little bit more on him next. And moving on from Carnell Tate, we're gonna give you the scoop on Makai Lemon. This guy is a yard after catch demon. He is a tough receiver. He is one of those guys who, just because of his size, he's gonna be doubted in the draft. He might slip a little bit in the draft because of that, but when you roll the tape and when you look at the numbers, you see the accolades, you understand that this guy isn't somebody that should be overlooked, and let's run the tape and show you why. On this first play, you're gonna see the yak ability that I was talking about. Just a simple hitch route. Watch him make one guy miss. And then watch the juke route right here on number 14. Where you going? Where your ankles at? Gone. To the crib. Nobody's catching him. He makes another guy miss with the assist of a block. uses his block one more time, cuts it back inside, finishes the play off with a touchdown. This guy is a tough runner. He runs like a running back from the wide receiver position when you see him run after the catch. He's not running like your typical wide receiver. He's a short, stocky guy. He's a physical guy. He runs like a really tough running back in my eyes, more than he runs like a receiver. And you love that, and you love that ability. This play right here, you're gonna see the route running ability though. You're gonna see him win at the top of the route. It's gonna be a simple post route. He gets at the top, hesitates, gets that DB's feet stuck in the ground, excels out of that. The D-cell right there is what I love to touch on. He reminds me of Luka Doncic. If you guys know Luka Doncic in the NBA, he is one of the greatest D-cell guys. He doesn't win with speed. People clown him, they call him slow fat. But when he slows down, he creates the separation he needs to get the buckets he needs. Similar to Makai Lemon. Makai Lemon, every time he needs to make a play, he's not always gonna win with the speed. He's not gonna win with the burst, but he's gonna leverage you into position and then burst out. Like here on the goal line, you see him set him up, a little bit slow, burst out, D-cell into XL. He's excellent at that. And on this play, you're gonna see the toughness. He's 5'11". A lot of the guys that are 5'11", they're gonna get pushed all the way out of bounds, not be able to recover on this play. Not him. He fights through the play, finishes that off with a touchdown. You love to see that. He's tough, like I said. On this play right here, you're gonna see him win in the middle. He excels in those seams, on those post routes. He is really clever at getting in between those safeties, and he knows how to leverage his position to get in those seams for the quarterback to hit him. On this next play, you're gonna see him. This is my favorite play, and it demonstrates his toughness. It's the last play that we have, but you see him win at the catch point. He's 5'11", like I mentioned, but he doesn't play like it. He caught 10 of 14 contested catch opportunities in 2025. He's one of the toughest receivers in the draft, and if any team is overlooking him, they should reconsider that, because he is for sure an elite receiver in the future. Moving on to a prospect that I think is being a little bit overlooked, but is one of the most promising, but has a couple of question marks because of those injury concerns. It's Jordan Tyson out of ASU. This guy is one of the most elite route runners that I've witnessed in personal history. I love his fluidity. I love his ability to get in and out of breaks. He is an elite athlete. You're gonna see it all throughout the tape. Let's run that. All right, on this first play, you're gonna see the burst that I was talking about. He has an elite release package. You see it right here. He hits him with the hesitation move and then bursts out of there. There's nothing the DB can do. He leaves him in the dust. You're gonna see it one more time. A quick 1-2, he's out of there. DB, bye-bye. Where you going? And you're gonna see on this next play, on the goal line, he's gonna use that spray release, set him up to the outside, and then at the top of the route, use the rocker step. On this play, you're gonna see him win at the catch point, but I love this play because look at the eyes on this play. This requires immense attention to detail, immense hand-eye concentration, and he finishes this play after only seeing the ball for about maybe a second or two. Late hands, you need to have that ability to win in the NFL. He has those. Once again, you see the late hands right at the catch point. The safety makes the dumb choice of trying to take him out. He's 6'2". He has the frame to take that hit. He does so. He wins at the catch point. He brings that down. He is also a great contested catch specialist. He's honestly the full package. There's not much this guy doesn't do well. Right here, you're gonna see the route running ability again. You're gonna see him set him up with that rocker step to the inside. Inside release, DB's playing too far outside. As soon as he gets to that inside with that athleticism, there's nothing the DB can do. Once again, you're gonna see him this time set him up to the inside, and you saw him. Watch the DB fall. Where is the DB going? He's on the ground. That's the route running ability that Jordan Tyson has. He's an elite route runner. You see it again on this play, and you see the ability to lay out for the catch. This play, he's at the top of your screen, rocker step, in route, makes the physical catch. He has that 6'2" frame, like I said. He knows how to make catches at the catch point. And this play, I love this play. You're gonna see the 1-2 and then another 1-2 at the top of that to get the separation. He reminds me a little bit of a CeeDee Lamb. He's like really fluid athlete. He knows how to use his IQ. He knows how to use his frame. He has a bigger frame. He's an elite route runner. He's one of my favorite prospects in this draft for a reason. But let's send it back to Kyle at the desk to close the show for you guys. Thank you for having me on this episode.
Thank you, Marcus. And guys, I gotta say, I think Carnell Tate is the top wide receiver out of the three and the draft class that we just talked about?
Yeah, I feel like without a doubt, Carnell Tate, staying at 6'2", 192 he weighs, and yeah, he was the counterpart to Jeremiah Smith, who took most of the heavy load on offense there. But I mean, he represented as a deep threat specialist, that's for sure, and he is a excellent contested special catch dude, and yeah.
I gotta pump the brakes on all this hype here because he received the favorable matchup of all the corners he faced in the Big Ten because of Jeremiah Smith. And so when you have a guy like that who's the number 2, you just don't know what you're gonna get. Obviously, we've seen the talent is there. Obviously, coming out of Ohio State, the wide receiver factory. So still the top prospect in my book, but we just gotta be a little careful of the expectations we put on him due to him probably in the NFL getting most of the CB1 matchups.
Yeah, but you talk about, kind of because of Jeremiah Smith's presence, that's why he was so effective. But he can win one-on-one matchups with, as we said, that 6'2" frame, 192. Yes, he is on a little bit of the smaller side, but he does make up for it in those long strides, can kind of stop on a dime, and he's arguably one of the best route runners in this class.
Yeah, I mean, and he won Ohio State a national championship against Notre Dame. I mean, he getting a go ball just down the sideline, made the game-winning play, and yeah, I mean, Carnell Tate, he's honestly legit, and whoever gets him, whether that be the Saints, even if the Panthers decide to go for another wide receiver, I mean, whoever's going to get him is going to get an absolute asset, that's for sure.
Hey, anytime you get a deep ball merchant, like, let's see what the Broncos, they proved it so many times today. Cortland Sutton coming over from SMU, a lot of people did not think he was going to be or have the impact that he has, and they just throw him go balls all day. Same thing you can do with Carnell Tate. You could just throw him go balls because he runs a 4.5, right, Kyle?
Yep.
Runs a 4.5 and he can get down. He's physical route runner. He's smart. He has the IQ to go with it. So, I mean, whoever drafts him is really getting a gem.
Yeah, and you talk about the kind of go ball, his ability to adjust at probably the high point of the ball. Like, body positioning is everything. Framing position is everything, especially when you factor in the fact that when you're running a goal ball, the defender has to turn their hips regardless to kind of chase you. And his speed alone is kind of letting the receiver, or the corner rather, play deep and play zone. And when you're a guy like Carnell Tate and you're shifty, you have long strides, you have that speed, you have that frame. It's just, he has all the accolades, as well as he comes from Ohio State, wide receiver factory out there. But he is just really kind of one of the top dogs, I think, in this prospect.
I mean, he just has also huge hands that go along with those go balls. I think he was a 99th percentile for a contested catch rate. That's absolutely ridiculous, especially in college, going against premier cornerbacks like you have in the Big Ten. So obviously you're looking for the height, you're looking for the long strides and the speed, but what you can't teach is hand size and obviously the IQ of the game.
Yeah, and he did not drop a pass in 2025. I mean, you take a guy like that with a good quarterback, and he's a reliable target in the clutch. And it's just we've listed all of them before, but it's just there's no way I see him just not fitting on any team.
Hey, but this guy is so highly valued that you bring up with a good quarterback.
Yeah.
But for the people that are drafting high in the draft, they're probably getting him as just a building block of their franchise, and maybe they don't have the QB yet.
All right, well, enough about Carnell Tate. Let's focus on the other guy, Makai Lemon, kind of a more shorter frame than Carnell Tate, but he still packs a punch.
Yeah, I don't absolutely love that he didn't run a flat 4.4 or even a 4.3 at a 4.46, but he's still a very good route runner. I mean, we've seen it, again, we mentioned, I believe, in the Open that he's kind of like Amon-Ra St. Brown and Tyler Lockett, smaller type wide receivers that really get in your face. They want to close the distance very fast, and they want to basically put you in their world so they can make the decision. And obviously coming over from USC, getting the ball thrown to him by former UNLV quarterback Jordan Maeva. So, I mean, we'll see what it can do come time of the first game.
Yeah, and you take a look at kind of that frame again, 5'11", right? A little bit on the shorter side. You got to be twitchy. You got to have kind of those good route runs that kind of just get the corner. Because one mistake, I'm pretty sure we can say this about any guy, but I think with Makai Lemon is you won't see him. Obviously, the speed is there, but when he stops on a dime and you're a corner and you make one mistake and you overcommit, that's basically lights out for you.
Right, and I don't think, this dude's elusiveness is as good as his ability to break tackles. I mean, this dude's ability to break tackles is unbelievable. I'm sure Mark's is going to break down the tape, but yeah, his ability to just extend the play at the wide receiver position, he's catching touch passes like a running back. And he's making plays and was a big part of USC's offense, that's for sure.
Well, we see it reflected in the awards he won. I mean, this guy's the most awarded receiver this year, and it's not even close. Consensus All-American, Biletnikoff Award winner, like we mentioned, voted the best wide receiver in college football. And this is without USC even getting to the playoffs. People are just recognizing what he's doing against Big Ten opponents. Like we said with Carnell Tate, lots of good cornerbacks there in the Big Ten. So people are just recognizing what he's doing here, even without USC being in a high caliber position. And I think that just really shows the caliber of what he's capable of.
Yeah, you take a look at USC from kind of a, like if you take a step back and you pay attention to all the conferences, the Big Ten was without a doubt one of the most powerful conferences this year. You kind of look at USC, didn't build up to the hype, but you look at Makai Lemon, and he was the star of that team. And you look at all of his awards, as you said, winning that with not the greatest group around him. That's to take nothing away from USC, but you take a guy 10 of 14 on contested catch opportunities in 2025. I mean,
at 5'11".
At 5'11", you're looking at a guy who can jump with the best of them, and his hands as well. Like if you're gonna run a go ball or you're gonna run a toss-up ball, you can expect Makai Lemon more times than not to come up with that ball.
I mean, we see one of his, worries is that obviously the initial burst, but his length and wingspan. But I think under that, we see the stat that basically disproves that is that he's good at contested catches. He knows how to use all 5'11" of himself, and those, he doesn't have elite hand size like we see with Carnell Tate. That's why he's the best prospect. But, I mean, Makai Lemon, I think, is easily number 2, if not competing with number 1.
Yeah, I would say he's the most physical wide receiver in this draft class for sure. I mean, he loves the contact, and we've seen in his pre-draft interview where he was, a little tense up. But, yeah, I mean, Makai Lemon, whoever gets him is, I feel like he can complement a wide receiver 1 and hopefully be a wide receiver 2 for whoever wants to get him.
Well, capping it off, we're going to take a look at the third prospect really quick. Jordan Tyson out of ASU, kind of one of the, I would say, sleeper picks due to the fact that the Big 12 is not a renowned conference, obviously, compared to the SEC or like the Big 10. But I feel like that's what makes these receivers better because they got something to prove.
Yeah, and a little bit of a down year for ASU. They did make the semifinal a couple years ago and lost against Texas. But, yeah, Jordan Tyson was a really bright spot for this ASU offense for sure, playing with Sam Levitt. I mean, he stands 6'2", 203. I mean, he's right up there competing with Carnell Tate. And, all these NFL GMs, executives, they love a big receiver, that's for sure. And then going back to the go ball, playing man coverage, quarterbacks want to throw this streak route. And they have no problem throwing it up to a guy that's going to go up and contest the ball. But what about his route running skills? I mean, sure, you can throw the go ball or stop on a dime and come back. There's a whole bunch of avenues you can go with this dude.
Yeah, I just see a little, I know apparently I'm the negative guy over here, but his route efficiency, obviously his route running is still there. We see the flashes of that, and sometimes he can show it for entire games, but he just looks a little raw, just wasting movements at breaking points. And obviously, given his injury history, I believe he was injured a significant time this season. And so I want to back away from Jordan Tyson, maybe a second, third rounder, and maybe kind of a project more than an NFL-ready guy like Makai Lemon or Carnell Tate.
I do think out of the three we've talked about here, I do for sure think that he's the number 3 guy. I think that, you cannot compare with Carnell Tate and Ohio State, just the name alone. And you also can't compare with Makai Lemon and an iconic college football team such as USC. But I feel like that's what kind of makes him one of the sleeper picks. I mean, you take a look at, everyone's going to say that he's got the, as you said, like kind of being the negative guy over there. You know, he doesn't have the best route running, but I think with like if you have grit, right, and you say to a coach, hey, I'm here, I'm gonna learn, and that's what kind of you want to do early in the NFL. You want to learn, and obviously there's gonna be some rough patches there, but you know, he does have the accolades to back it up, you know, and I think he's a good sleeper pick for a team that is looking for a good wide receiver, kind of in the depth role, and then he can kind of shine going further into the season.
Well, this is Jordan Tyson's path to NFL stardom, is being the guy who stays late in the locker room and never puts down the playbook. Because when you do that, you become invaluable or become valuable to NFL franchise that, hey, not only is this guy tough on the field, he's tough in the books too, because he knows the plays. He can even mentor people his second or third year because he needs to be really in the books. And that's not to say that Carnell Tate or Lemon doesn't need to, but I mean, you see what they'll have a longer leash, I feel like, in terms of their physical potential, but he needs to really tap into that mental potential.
Yeah, I really feel like the injuries are obviously a big question for him, but just the length and size alone, staying at 6'2", I mean, that's what every NFL GM, like, they look for. And if they like a schematic guy that runs routes like Amon-Ra St. Brown for the Lions, or like a Michael Wilson kind of guy for the Arizona Cardinals, I mean, if they get this dude in like the 3rd round, that could honestly be the steal of the NFL draft.
And he's a game changer. I mean, with that height, you have to be a game changer. And, you know, he understands leverage, he understands spacing, he understands kind of the fundamentals that you want from a young prospect. And I think even in any position you put him in, he's obviously, as we said, still learning. But yes, he does struggle with the physicality of the game sometimes, with those good corners that always, when they run man coverage, you're running press man coverage, and the defenders want to get their hands in your face and kind of block you off the ball. But I feel like there's a lot of room to learn for Jordan Tyson.
Hey, I got another question for you guys. Is it a concern? We see obviously Lemon from USC, excuse me, a historic program, and then we see Carnell Tate from Wide Receiver University, Ohio State. Does it concern you that he's coming from a non kind of big school in Arizona State? Of course, they're in the Big 12, but like.
No, I mean, to that point, I mean, T-Mac, Tedoroa McMillan just came from the Big 12 last year from Arizona. So, I mean, and that dude can ball, Offensive Rookie of the Year. And, yeah, Jordan Tyson could follow in the same footsteps. So.
Okay.
That underdog mentality for sure is kind of there with Jordan Tyson. But that's all the time we have. Only time will tell to see where these players get drafted. You can watch Tail of the Tape every Wednesday, and it's just going to be a good time for the NFL draft coming up.